Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show for Friday, May the 7th. Ian Cameron and Conor Mack with you, ready to break down the Friday card and ready to see who is on my hit list next. Apparently, if I say bad things about a certain player, they're going to go out and play just as poorly the same night. And we saw that last night. Mike Mayers of the Angels. I said it right on this show, and Conor and I are laughing about this off air right before we started the show here. That here I was yesterday saying, why is this guy being trotted out there every day or every other day to get outs when he can't get anybody out? He's blown a bunch of leads, not just this year. It's been last year and 2 years ago that this guy's been in the Angels bullpen, and he just can't get the job done at all consistently. And sure enough, I say that about Mike Mayers yesterday. Why do they keep going back to this guy? He gives up big hits, home runs, blows leads left and right. And the very same night I'm on this show talking about Mike Mayers, he goes out there last night with a 3-0 lead against the Rays and proceeds to blow it in the 8th inning. 3 runs allowed, another implosion, 3-3, and Mike Mayers once again faltering in that Angels bullpen. How poetic is that? So unbelievable. I couldn't keep myself from just laughing with hysteria last night, seeing that unfold the way it did after I just ripped the guy, 12 hours earlier right here on this show. And then, of course, look, to his defense, the rest of the Angels bullpen was just as bad last night against the Rays. But hilarious shit that I said that about Mike Mayers, and not even 12 hours later, the same night, he goes out there and basically does what I expect him to do and what he continues to do for the Angels, and that's not get anybody out. Hilarious stuff, Conor, but I know you profited from it live in game.
Yeah, I took it was 3-1, and I took him live. I saw him on the mound, and boom, double, single, just merry-go-round, everything started. It was perfect. He won Angels first 5. We'll talk about the game today, the Angel game. If you're on either side, I'd be on first 5 with those bad bullpens. But yeah, they just kept scoring. I was laughing. I kept hearing what you said about him, and it was funny. I loved it.
Yeah, it was. If you're looking at, we'll get to that game later, the Battle of LA, the whatever they call it. I know they call it the Freeway Face-Off in hockey
series
when it's the LA Kings and the Anaheim Ducks, but I don't know what they call it in baseball, but the Freeway Series, but Dodgers and Angels tonight. We'll get to that later in the show. But first, we'll start with the, as always, we go in order of start time. There is that typical Friday afternoon day game at Wrigley Field. We've got another one today. Pittsburgh Pirates, Chicago Cubs, Cahill and Davies on the mound. Davies minus 150 in this one, and the Cubs total 7.5 across the board. Pretty easy decision for me to bet the over here. Now I get it that it's an early game. The wind's blowing in significantly. It's a sharp north wind, and I don't normally like betting overs at Wrigley Field in these kind of wet wind conditions and environment. That's why the total, though, is 7.5. Because to be honest with you, other than the wind conditions, total should not be 7.5 with these two pitchers right now. Not with Cahill. The Cubs have done damage against him, and certainly not with Zach Davies. I've been either on the other side or betting overs in most of Zach Davies' starts this season for the Chicago Cubs. And I know the weather's not ideal. It's going to be 50 degrees, mid-50s, and north winds blowing in at Wrigley. But still, these are two pitchers you cannot trust, and two lineups that have actually done some damage against these two respective starters. So I like the over 7.5 here regardless. Pirates and Cubs. Conor, what's your take here?
Yeah, it's real low here. Both these pitchers have not pitched well this year. Both got ERAs over 7. And both sides have hit him well. I mean, Frazier, Newman, Reynolds, a bunch of guys. And the Cubs have hit okay off Cahill. Hayward's 5 for 13. A few guys in there. I don't want to read them all. I like your thing. I know it's cold. Wind's blowing kind of sideways. I think it can get over because 7.5 is low, but I'm going to stay off it. I'm going to roll Pirates first 5 at plus 120. I'm going to take a shot. I want them early. Maybe they can get a few runs off Davies. They've had more success off Davies than the other way around, the Cubs off Cahill. And Cubs love lefties. Maybe they have a little trouble early on here. So give me the Pirates first 5 plus 120 here.
All right, liking the Pirates first 5. Yeah, it's one of those games where when it's two pitchers I don't trust, I would only the underdog, or that is. And in that case, that's the Pittsburgh side in this one. And to be honest with you, Cahill at least has shown you a little flash or two this season in terms of his pitching. I can't say that about Davies. Davies has just really been absolutely awful for the Chicago Cubs. And I'm not sure things are going to change from it. Again, David Sharp has a good question. It's true. Why is this 7.5? And I really think it's the wind conditions. That's why it's 7.5. You're going to see totals at Wrigley Field when the wind is blowing in and the weather's not very warm either. You're going to see totals 7.5, 8 at the most at Wrigley Field. That's exactly why it is where it is, because of the wind being strong in at Wrigley Field today. But again, I think they're overcompensating for the wind here. I mean, these are two pitchers. You look at their numbers this year, and you look at the way they pitched. How can you hang 7.5 out there with these two meatball pitchers? I mean, honestly, that's why it's a puzzler. Yeah. No pun intended to the guy in the chat.
Puzzler. Can ask at our guy. Yeah, it should be 8.5, 9 at least, I think on a normal day. So a little bit of value. It's just cold and windy. I got to think that, because these pitchers are very good.
Yeah, no question about that. All right, we move on down the card here. We go to the rest of the games tonight, by the way, in this Friday slate are all night games. So we will be able to go to those now. We've got next up, it is the Boston Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. Eduardo Rodriguez and Matt Harvey on the mound. Boston -150, road favorites, total 8.5 here in this game. It's a tricky one. Baltimore's not bad against lefty pitching, and I think they've already seen Eduardo Rodriguez once this season as well. So you've got that little factor working in Baltimore's favor. Matt Harvey, I'll be honest, Matt Harvey has probably been better than I thought he would be. There's been even some starts he's looked downright excellent, but I don't know if I'm going to trust him here. Boston's been winning with Eduardo, but the Baltimore matchup against him as a lefty is not that bad. It's a tough game all around. Probably not one I'll bet, and there's another reason not to bet it. 75% chance of rain in the forecast tonight at Camden Yards. So this game definitely may not get going tonight. So, buyer beware if you're going to get involved in this one. C-Mac, what's your thoughts? Red Sox, Orioles. This game might not even get played. 75% chance of rain in the forecast.
I don't know if it gets played either. I played it right, the Red Sox, their last series. I took them run line, then Tigers first 5, and then run line yesterday. This one's difficult. Orioles hit lefties is kind of a spot where I'd want them first 5, where the Red Sox might get full game. Maybe look at team totals. I think both get hit. I'll continue to be shocked if Matt Harvey still pitches kind of how well he's done. Maybe he's going to be this good down the line. I don't think so. I think the Red Sox have found their sticks. I don't know if they're scoring 11 tonight, but I think they get some. And the Orioles have good numbers against Rodriguez. Mancini's got a couple homers. There's a few good guys in the lineup that have good numbers against them. So maybe Orioles early against the lefties. Maybe they can get in this game. Maybe it just goes, 6 innings or something because of rain out. But that's it. And the over.
All right.
Over.
All right. We have the Washington Nationals and the New York Yankees. Next up, Patrick Corbin, Jamison Tyon on the mound. We've got the Yankees -180. Home favorites here, close to that range. Looks like actually -170, pretty much across the board here. 8.5 the total. Big move down in the total. Look, Patrick Corbin was a lot better last time out against the in his last start. So we'll have to wait and see if he keeps this going. But that was a positive development for him, much sharper, and he's gotten actually progressively better as the ERA, but there's no doubt he's making progression. And again, a lefty at Yankee Stadium is never the worst thing in the world. That's usually that's usually what you want in this ballpark against the Yankees. Unfortunately, you look at track record for Corbin against some of these Yankee hitters. Stanton, who cannot be stopped, he's this unstoppable force right now for the Yankees. 6 for 18, 333 average, and a pair of dingers against Patrick Corbin. Of course, going back to his Miami days, he's probably seen Patrick Corbin a lot. Gleyber Torres, 2 for 3. DJ LeMahieu, 18 for 51 with 4 homers, 353 average against Patrick Corbin. So you got a couple of guys here smashing Corbin in the past for this Yankees team. So that worries me a little bit. Normally, I like the lefty pitcher, but you've got significant, at-bat numbers. Like 18 times he's faced Corbin, 51 times for LeMahieu against Corbin. This isn't 1 for 3. Or 5 for 7. This is a significant sample size of success for Stanton and LeMahieu against Corbin. So the Yankees off a frustrating game yesterday against the Astros. I think they would bounce back here. David liking the run line. I would certainly lean to that. Maybe lean first 5 laying the half a run as well for Tyon here in this game. I think he can pitch decently. The Nationals lineup still a little bit sketchy right now with their recent production. Con, what do you think here, Nationals and Yankees?
Yeah, you talked about the numbers against Corbin. Wow, killing it. I think the Yankees are playing better. I know they kind of blew it a little bit, had the lead yesterday, but the Astros hit some key bombs there, Altuve and a few other guys, so they came up clutch. I'm with you. I think it's Yanks first 5, but I think they got a great bullpen. Why not go full game run line plus 110? Most places you can get plus 105. A few places. I don't know if Corbin. I think he's solid, but I'm just gonna wait till maybe he gets in one of his little runs. And the Nats just aren't hitting. I think maybe the Yankees. They talk about runs. It's kind of like how the Dodgers jump out. I think usually there's always these good teams. They go on like 2 runs a year where they rip off. They go 15-2 or something like that. Maybe that's it. The Yankees are finally getting going after a sleepy start. So yeah, Yanks run line here for me today.
All right, Yankees run line. Let me just take a look here. I just want to look at some of these player props because I'm definitely interested.
LeMahieu, yeah.
Yeah, LeMahieu and Stanton, 1.5 total bases for both of them. It's 1.5 plus 110 for LeMahieu. It's 1.5 minus 110 for Stanton. I'd bet both of those. I will be betting both of those actually. I mean, the track record for these two guys against Corbin is insane. It's insanely good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say no to betting those two over their total bases. You could even go home run props on both of them as well. You look at home run props, Stanton and LeMahieu. Stanton to hit a home run, still plus 240 for Stanton to hit a home run with the way he's hitting right now. That's a damn good price right there. Plus 240 for Stanton to hit a home run. LeMahieu is not as big a home run hitter, but he's got 4. LeMahieu in 51 at bats against Patrick Corbin, and it's plus 600 for him to hit a home run. Like, we're talking value prop bets here in this game with these two guys. Plus 240 for Stanton in his first of all, his current form's on his side. He's raking right now. He's crushing the baseball. He's crushed Corbin. He's hit home runs off him, and you can get him at plus 240 to hit a home run, and LeMahieu plus 600 when he's hit 4 of them off Corbin in the past. So you talk about player props with value. Those look like player props with value to me, those two Yankee hitters tonight. So hopefully it'll play out that way on the field. Cincinnati, Cleveland. We got interleague action here. Miley and Plesac on the mound in this one. We've got the Cleveland Indians here, minus 140 home favorites, total 8, shaded to the over. Miley, finally a shaky start last time out against the Cubs. But again, you're facing a Cleveland team that against lefty pitching, not always trustworthy. I mean, they did face Duffy, and they won against Duffy yesterday, but it's not like they smacked him. You know, they got a great start from Tristan McKenzie yesterday. Give him credit. He was excellent. He didn't walk anybody, which had been an issue. But this is still a feeble Cleveland team when it comes to lefties. I will say their lineup is picking it up, Cleveland, no question. But still against the lefty starter, they are a little bit difficult to trust. On the flip side, Plesac is, another guy that's kind of difficult to trust. He had a bad start to the season. He's pitched a little bit better lately. Can he keep it going here today against the Reds? That remains to be seen. Nick Senzel and Joey Votto have good numbers against him. But other than that, not a whole lot of success against Plesac. Miley, on the other hand, again, very limited sample size for a lot of the hitters, so it's hard to make too much of it. Actually, Rosario and Luplow are 2 for 9, so they've got at least 9 or 10 at bats and haven't had much success. So maybe Plesac can hang in there today, maybe a first 5 under, but I can't touch Cleveland against a lefty. I just can't do it. It's just that stark a contrast in their production at the plate against lefty pitching. It's just not very good. Conor, what do you think here, Cincinnati, Cleveland?
Yeah, Plesac has just not been good. Back-to-back 6-run outings. He hasn't looked well. Yeah, the Indians scored yesterday, and it's not like Duffy pitched bad. They got 3 runs across. I thought the score would be the other way around, but Royals are struggling a bit. I thought that was a good spot for him yesterday. They didn't get the first 5 under 4. Even though the Indians are first 5 under, I'm not going to go there. I think the value's here with Miley and the Reds. First 5. Don't want their pen. I wouldn't go full game. Cut it to the first 5. You're getting value at plus 130. I think they could the way Plesac's looked, unless he's going to finally pitch a solid outing. I think those Reds bats could get to him. So give me the Reds here. I love it. First 5, the value at plus 130.
All right, good stuff there. The Reds are probably a little value. And look, we're now laying minus 140 with Cleveland in this game. Look, I know they've hit a little bit better. They've won some games lately, but this is, again, against a lefty. The left-handed side has been a complete and utter disaster for the Cleveland Indians lineup facing those kind of pitchers. And I don't know what's going to necessarily change here going into this game. So there could be definitely a little value Reds in this one, especially early. Again, with the Reds and David Sharp's on the first 5, you have to go first 5 with Cincinnati. This is another one of those do not mess with the full game teams because of their bullpen. And that's exactly the case here with the Cincinnati Reds. That bullpen just hasn't been very good. Minnesota, Detroit. We've got Matt Shoemaker for the Twinkies, and we have Tariq Skubal, the lefty. He's pitched. You know what I call him now? The way he's pitched this season for Detroit, Tariq Screwball, not Screwball. Screwball. He's pitching like a screwball. Come on, man. You got some ability. You got some talent. You're just too freaking erratic right now. Man alive. He's got good stuff, but just not harnessing it right now for the Detroit Tigers. We've got Minnesota here, about minus 140 road favorites at Comerica. 9 the total, shaded to the under. It's always dangerous to lean over with Skubal because he can turn it on at any moment. He's got the stuff, but I got to see it first. I mean, we're waiting and waiting for him to pitch better, but it's been a rough start to his season. 6.14 ERA, 0-4 for him this season for the Detroit Tigers. So for me, it's kind of a game where you want to see a little bit of evidence that he's capable of picking it up. I'm not sure this is going to be that matchup for him to do that. When you look at this Minnesota team against lefties, they've been pretty decent. They've been better against the left-handed side. The Twins, their lineup against compared to righties, they strike out less against lefties. The on-base percentage is a little bit better for this team against lefties. So it's a good matchup, I think, for this Twins lineup against him. On the flip side, look, let's give the Tigers lineup credit. They've picked it up now the last few games against Boston. Remember, they couldn't hit their way out of a wet paper bag. And now all of a sudden they're crushing Boston's pitching. They lost yesterday because they gave up 11 runs, but they scored enough. And they scored, 6 runs or more in a majority of those games in that series against the Red Sox. So the Tigers lineup has been waking up a little bit this week, and they might keep it going here because Shoemaker's been disappointing because, I thought when he was healthy with the Blue Jays, his last stint, he was a pretty capable pitcher, and he just has not been able to rediscover that form yet with the Minnesota Twins. So this is a game where I have a lean to the over. I don't know. The weather's a little bit dicey here. It's not exactly warm in Detroit, but I would still lean over the total. And look, Detroit's been trending over the last few games since they've gotten their lineup going against Boston. So the over definitely is the way I would at least lean. I don't know if I'll bet it, but I definitely lean over the total of 9. What do you think here, Conor? Twins, Tigers.
Yeah, Shoemaker hasn't been good. I think he'll pitch better. I think he's just a 500 pitcher. Right now he's 1-3 with the 7.80 ERA, 14 Ks. Yeah, Screwball, Ceruball, Skunk. I don't even know how many nicknames you can come up. 0-4, 6.4 ERA. At times, his stuff can be electric. This one's a little difficult. Twins hit lefties, and Shoemaker's actually shut down these Tigers. They don't have any good numbers from everything I'm looking at here. So
you're right there.
The Twins here.
That's what I'm hung up on as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and even Screwball's been okay. It's just short sample size with Donaldson. They only have like 5 at bats. A few guys got hits. I'd be Twins. Maybe first 5. I was thinking full game. Their bullpen's been shaky this year. It depends on what you like. Either first 5, a half a run, the Twins, or maybe full game run line. Tigers after that big series, Red Sox, they come home. I don't know. I'm just gonna pass until Screwball starts pitching well. I'll fade him, and I don't know if I'm gonna play or not, but I'd be on Twins. Twins run line or the half run, first 5.
Yeah, the rule with him is until you ditch the Screwball moniker, we're not betting you right now.
Yeah,
that's the rule at this point in time. Arizona and the New York Mets. We've got the Mets minus 130 home favorites, total 7 across the board. Cashed in with the Mets yesterday. That was a popular play for the show and for guys in our chat as well. A lot of us like the Mets and Taijuan Walker yesterday against Johnny Gant and the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Mets got it done. This one, I think I might go against the Mets. I might go against the Mets in the first 5 innings at least with Arizona. I'm a big Zach Gallen fan. I think this guy's going to be a good pitcher. I like the way he's gone so far this season for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think he's one of their better starters, no question. You look at Gallen overall, 3.48 ERA this season. In fact, he's made looks like 2 road starts for the Arizona Diamondbacks, 2.13 ERA away from home. Only 3 earned runs allowed in 12.2 innings, 2-0 for the Arizona Diamondbacks in his 2 road starts. I think he's a bet-on pitcher. And look, Mets against good pitchers, they can be shut down. We thought this lineup would be very capable coming into the season, but even yesterday, do you know how many opportunities and chances they had to really blow that game wide open against St. Louis? And they kept on failing. And then finally in the 5th inning, only because John Gant lost the strike zone and kept walking people, were they finally able to get runs across the board. So this is still a Mets lineup that I have not the fullest amount of confidence in right now, especially against a capable pitcher here like Zach Gallen. I have no problem fading Peterson. I don't think he's all that good. The Cardinals are a much better hitting team against southpaws, against lefties as well. That should benefit them here as well. They had a rough series against Miami. I understand that. Getting swept by the Marlins makes you think, hey, why would you take Arizona? But this is all starting pitching based. That's why I'm going to zone in on the first 5 innings here. Arizona at a plus price. I think Gallen has not only a little edge against Peterson, but maybe a big one. I think he's the much better of these pitchers. Obviously, the Mets are the better team, which is why I'm only on the first 5 here. But I do like Arizona Diamondbacks here, first 5 innings at a plus price. C-Mac, what do you think here? Arizona, New York Mets.
I'm with you too. If I were to take the side here, I'd be with Gallen. He's one guy that I like with the D-backs. Yeah, they got swept. I thought they would. That was big. I'm glad the Marlins won that game. The under one. I didn't want to get screwed there. I was waiting for a 2-run bomb to tie the game. It's been kind of that week. The Dodgers game killed me with Buehler up 2-0. He gave it up. But anyways, that shit was the other day.
Yeah, that one too. Me too on that one. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Peterson's been better the last few starts. I've watched him too. He's looked better, but I think this maybe is a all right spot for the D-backs. I'm hung up a little bit. I want the D-backs first 5 at plus 110 or the team total over 3.5 plus 115. I kind of like that too. I think they could get to Peterson. I'm just hung up on which one I want to bet. But that'd be my look in this one.
That's a good thought. I kind of like that. Arizona team total over. I might bet that one too, actually, because you're right. I think the Mets definitely they can score against Peterson, and you might see a lot of the bullpen. And when you see a lot of the Mets bullpen, that's usually a bad thing for the New York Mets. So this could be an opportunity. Look, Arizona's offense was bad. It was putrid against Miami.
It was bad.
Their offense was lifeless in that series. But is it going to continue that way the rest of the season? No, of course not. There's going to be games that Arizona does hit and does put up runs. I think this is at least on paper a spot where we can expect, I think, them to put up some runs. We'll see if it can happen. We got Milwaukee, Miami. Speaking of the Marlins, red hot Marlins, Trevor Rogers, 1.91 ERA on the mound for the Marlins here. They are minus 140 home favorites, total 6.5, shaded to the over in this one. I'm telling you what, this Trevor Rogers kid looks like he could be something for Miami. He keeps on pitching extremely well for the Miami Marlins. They've got some arms. They've got some live arms in this rotation, Miami. They've got something that they could legitimately hang their hat on and be excited about in the future. And no question about it, Trevor Rogers is one of those pitchers for the Miami Marlins with the way he's gone so far this season. We'll see if he can keep it up here in this one as he pitches at home here against the Milwaukee Brewers. Brent Suter on the mound for the Brewers, making probably a spot start here, 2.7 ERA overall on the season for him. He's probably going to be pitching 4 or 5 innings, more than likely turn it over to the bullpen after that. Miami does hit the ball better against lefties, and Suter is a lefty, so keep that in mind. I favor Rogers here with the first 5, and Miami first 5 full game split has been very nice to me this week, and it might be nice to me again here. That would be the way I would lean, a Marlins first 5 and full game split. Conor, what do you think?
I'm with you. I don't know if I bet this one. Now I know you could have got maybe earlier last night the first 5 under 3.5. Now it's a 3 with Suter. I don't know, but both these teams don't hit a lot. I mean, 3 is just it though. I want the 3.5. The first 500 looks good. Both these teams, even the Marlins. I know they scored I think 8. The other day scored 3 yesterday. Rogers has been great. He's been lights out. And Suter just coming into spot start's been good. 2-1 with the 2.70 ERA. Difficult. When I start seeing Marlins price a little bit, 140, it's a little high. But I agree with you here. I lean to them the first 5, maybe half a run, and full game. I'm probably going to stay off this game though. I just don't love it.
All right, we got the next game up. We've got the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. Eflin and Morton on the mound. Old man Morton, as I like to call him. He's pitching like an old man so far this season. It's been a rough especially last few starts for him. Morton minus 145, home favorites. The total, it opened 8.5. I'm seeing 7.5s right now. That's one full run down for this total here going into this game. There really aren't any major weather issues. It's going to be nice. The wind's blowing out a little bit, not a strong wind, but a little bit. You got to wonder if it's maybe injury related here. Now the Braves have been a banged up lineup. They certainly were yesterday. A couple of key sticks in the lineup were out. I'm looking at the expected lineups right now. I'm seeing Gregorius, Real Muto, Harper, Hoskins, McCutchen, Baum expected for the Phillies. I'm seeing Acuna, Freeman, Ozuna, Albies, Riley, Swanson, Dinners, Contreras, Pache for the Braves lineup. So it looks like the lineups are full bore here. So I'm a little puzzled by this move. I know David Sharp brought this game up to us on Twitter last night. Me, Jimmy, you, Connor, mentioning this game, liking the over here a little bit. And I think the team total over on the Phillies as well against Morton. Look, Morton's struggling right now. Harper and Real Muto in particular have crushed this guy in the past. He's not in good form right now. It's just hard to believe that this total's gone down to 7.5 where it is. I know Morton there's still some respect in the betting markets out there for Morton based on his Astros and his Tampa Bay days. That's not the Charlie Morton right now. He's getting hit hard. Hard contact rate is through the roof right now. People are squaring up Charlie Morton right now, and they're not missing. The barrel of a bat is contacting the baseball against him right now. So I think Phillies can hit a little bit here. On the flip side, Zach Eflin is a good bet on pitcher at home. He is very average and sometimes below average on the road. You get him outside of Philadelphia, it's a different Zach Eflin. His ERA overall is like 3 this year. It's 6 on the road this season. And it's not just an anomaly. Go back to last year, 2 years ago. Zach Eflin's road ERA is consistently higher than it is when he pitches in Philadelphia. And Atlanta's had some good success against him in the past. Few of these Braves bats have hit Eflin in the past as well. When you look at previous numbers between these two teams, let me just take a look here. Yes, you got Swanson 8 for 20, Acuna 5 for 18. So Ozzy Albies has hit him a little bit as well. So there's a couple of guys that have hit Eflin. He's not as good on the road. I'm definitely against this totals move down. I would look the other way and over 7.5. Connor, what do you think here? Phillies and Braves.
Yeah, this one, I don't want the Braves laying the number, even though they won on the run line. They didn't yesterday, but I didn't take them there. But they won 3-2. They gave up a late run. You could take Eflin first 5 at a plus price. I'm with you. Braves home games have gone over. I know this has gone down. I'm kind of against the move as well. It's not that they pounded these pitchers, these guys, but they have decent numbers. And both these teams love hitting righties like this. You know what I mean? These are just guys that they love to hit. So I agree. The Braves over 4.5, it's plus 120. It's big. That one, I don't know. The Phillies at 3.5, it's still plus 100. I like that. I like what David Sharp put out with the Phillies team total over. I think the game goes over as well. I probably would be betting it at 110. It's not 8 anymore. We just need that. You know what I mean? It's 7.5 I have. So I lean the over 7.5.
All right. We have Seattle and Texas. Chris Flexen, Mike Fultonevich on the mound. Texas minus 120 home favorites, 8.5 the total in this one. I don't trust either pitcher, so lean over, but they've also had some good starts. And Fultonevich had his best start of the season last time out. So when a guy's really been struggling, Connor, and then he has that really good start, and he was good on Sundays, 2 runs allowed in 6 innings against the Red Sox, I usually stay off that next game just in case maybe that's a sign that he's turning a corner. We'll see. But again, we've said this about Fultonevich a lot. He has a good start, thinking he might turn the corner, going back to when he was with Atlanta, and he just doesn't. So that's why I've got to see it again, him pitching well. Flexen, good luck handicapping this guy. I mean, Mr. Erratic, Mr. Spastic on the mound. Mariners. 3 great starts and 2 shitty ones for the Mariners this year. So figure out which Chris Flexen it's going to be tonight. It's very difficult to pinpoint what it's going to be. Just the smallest of leans to the over. But look, Flexen's in and out of good start, bad start, good start, bad start. Fultonevich is off his best start. And it's not like Seattle's lineup is one he's incapable of shutting down. So probably a game I'm going to stay off. What do you think, Connor? Seattle, Texas.
This is one I don't love. If I trust a little more, Fultonevich, I know he's going to pitch down. Both these guys and Flexen, I like this first 5 under 4.5. I'm going to stay away from this one. If I were to take it, I just don't love the Rangers laying a price, even by it being like minus 120. There's no way. If I were to bet this game, it'd be Mariners, and I'd probably take it first 5 plus 100 if I were to play this one.
All right, White Sox and Royals, Carlos Rodon, Brad Keller, your pitching matchup here in this one. Rodon and the White Sox minus 50, road favorites, 8.5 the total. Look, Rodon's going to have one start eventually where he probably has a rough game. Every great pitcher has that start, but we're waiting on it still for Carlos Rodon. He has been magnificent. I guess that's the best way to put it for the Chicago White Sox. 0.72 ERA, 4-0, 36 strikeouts on the season for Carlos Rodon. I mean, just magnificent numbers. And he continues to get the job done. The strikeout counts are high. That's good news for him. The Royals are capable against lefties, but we'll have to wait and see here if they can hit Rodon the way he's going. Whit Merrifield in particular is the guy that's had 6. Carlos Santana as well. Those 2 guys, they have hit Rodon 7 for 16 and 9 for 27. Merrifield and Carlos Santana, respectively, against Rodon. But other than that, nobody else has hit him, and he's in great form. That, I think the current form for me always supersedes the past results for a pitcher against a certain team. So no reason to think Rodon can't pitch well again here. Brad Keller, has been a guy that was expected a lot of this season. Again, and back to another, it looked like he was starting to turn a corner, but again, back to another terrible, rough outing Sunday against the Twins. 7 runs, 6 hits, 4.1 innings. Now, only 2 of them were earned, so the bad defense behind him in that game. But nevertheless, 8.06 ERA in 22 innings, not very good for Keller this year. Rodon in the first 5 probably can get there. I would lean that way. Don't know if I'll bet it, but I lean White Sox first 5. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, this game was a pass for me. Royals are just struggling. Maybe they have a little value here. They get off kind of their slide lately. Rodon's just been so good, but when you start laying minus 150 on the road, I just don't love it. So that way you got to probably take the minus half run first 5. If you're down with that, then take Rodon. Like you said, he's probably due to get hit at some point. And both sides of these teams, the hitters, they got guys that have hit him decent numbers, on both sides. Santana, Merrifield, and on the other side, Garcia. There's a few guys that have hit him. I can't go through them all. Just not a game that I love that I'm going to pass. So if you like the Sox, I go first 5. If you like the Royals, I go full game. I think they need everything, even though their bullpen's been bad. Or take first 5. I'm just staying away. After seeing the Royals yesterday, I'm a little hurt. It's a pass for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Current form method. It's true. Gibson against the Twins was rough. We talked about how good he had been. So yeah, sometimes it's just pitchers struggle with certain hitters, and that's why it's important to pay attention to that. No question. That's especially when it's, again, when you're talking 1 for 4, that's nothing. You want this, you want at least minimum 20, 25 at bats to really get a good indication of what a pitcher does against a specific hitter. And if you get that kind of good track record, like a LeMahieu and a Stanton, for example, against Corbin tonight, that's what you're looking for. A big sample size of success against a certain pitcher, no doubt. Blue Jays and Astros, the return of George Springer to Houston, that's if he's actually in the frickin' lineup. And we don't even know that right now. going into this game. We've got the Blue Jay or Houston minus 140 home favorites, 9 the total in this one. Jose Urquidy on the mound for the Houston Astros in this game. It was pretty solid in his last start against the Rays on Saturday. 4 hits, 7 scoreless innings, efficient, good control. He's been pretty solid this season. He's been, just getting better and better, it looks like. He's been hitting the strike zone very well. We'll see if he can keep that going here. You look at his last couple of outings. In fact, 3 of his last 4 starts, he's given up 2 runs or less. So a lot to like with Urquidy here. Ross Stripling, on the other hand, for the Blue Jays, he's been up and down. He did have a better start last time against Atlanta, 2 runs in 4.1 innings. And the Blue Jays bullpen's not bad. So he'll turn it over to the pen. They've actually been one of the more decent bullpens this year in Major League Baseball. So it's interesting to see how this one goes. But I'd still have to lean to Houston a little bit here with Urquidy, who's in good form. Stripling better the last time out against Atlanta, but I'm going to have to see him pitch well again here in this one. And look, Blue Jays, won the last 2 games against Oakland, so they've got a little momentum, but I think there's definitely an edge to Urquidy here in this one. And keep an eye on Springer. Will he be back to face his former team? We'll have to wait and see. Conor, what do you think? Jays, Astros.
This is one I'm looking at. I love it. It's first 5 under 5 and minus 110. I think both pitchers, I think they're just coming off these big series, especially the Astros. It could be a sleepy first 5 here. And I love that it's a 5 and minus 110. So give me the first 5 under 5 here, minus 110. I lean Blue Jays a little bit. The Astros, that was real emotional there in Yankee Stadium. They got the win yesterday. So I think there's some value here on the Jays. And not only you can take them first 5, but like you said, Ian, their bullpen's been good, the Jays. So maybe it's something you'd rather go full game here at the plus 130. I think there's some value.
Do you know how refreshing it is to say a bullpen was good? You just don't say it a whole lot right now in Major League Baseball. It's like, whoa, a bullpen's actually good. So they're actually doing their job. They're actually getting outs. They're actually, keeping leads late in games. Our good buddy Mike Mayers could learn a thing or two from that. All right, I got to leave that.
Mikey.
Beating him enough, right? We got
and Springer's out. Yeah, he's on the IL.
Yeah. It's I don't know what's going on. Mysterious injury there. Colorado and St. Louis. Gomber, Flaherty, your pitching matchup here in this one. St. Louis here right around a minus 210 home favorite, north of minus 200, total 7.5 here in this one. Obviously, it is a significant, sizable pitching advantage for the Cardinals here with Flaherty on the mound. Now, the Rockies have been okay against lefty. No, that's Flaherty's on the mound. He's a righty. They've been okay, but to me, I look at it, the Cardinals against lefties, 275 average, 6.91 runs per game. St. Louis probably run line is worth a look here. I don't argue that. St. Louis first 5 run line. In fact, I probably will bet the run line and the first 5 a little bit. St. Louis team total over. I think that's the best of the bunch to me in this one is the Cardinals team total. They're mashing lefties. Gomber has finally come back to the pitcher we think he is, not very good. You can get the Cardinals team total here over. I think very good chance. Like I say, they're averaging well over 6 runs per game against lefties right now. So the Cardinals team total over. Cardinal first 5 and full game and run line evens an option. Full game over could even get there as well if the Rockies can do something against Flaherty. And we have seen the Rockies hit a little bit better lately. So maybe they can. So there's a bunch of ways. Cardinals first 5, Cardinals run line, Cardinals team total. David liking the full game over. I don't like that as much, but I wouldn't be on the under. That is for sure. I would still be over a pass for me with the full game as well. Conor, what do you think here? Rockies, Cardinals.
Yeah, this is why I can't do the first 5 under. It's at 3.5. There's just no way I can do it. Not with Gomber, especially on the road. He hasn't been good on the road. And Flaherty's good at home here. I just minus 200. I don't love. I think, like you mentioned, would you rather have them run line? This is kind of thing because the value's equal. Or maybe they score runs, they lose, or take the Cardinals team total over 4.5. Some people will feel more comfortable than the Cards run line, but the value's kind of even there. So I don't know if I bet this one, but that'd be my look here.
right, Battle of LA. Angels, Dodgers. We've got the Dodgers minus 160, road favorites, 8.5 the total. This is the guy you want on the mound right now. Julio Urias here for the Dodgers. He's been very good this season for them. When they needed a win the last time against Milwaukee, he rolled out there on the mound and was just dominant and gave that team exactly what they needed in a slump buster spot. He was dominant in that game against the Milwaukee Brewers. We'll see if he can keep it going here against the Angels. The Angels are very spotty against lefty pitching, 230 team batting average, 3.7 runs per game against lefties. Look, Dodgers, they got a day off after the just disaster for them against the Cubs. I think this is a get well spot. But again, I'm going to go first 5 minus a half run with the Dodgers. Keep it simple. They're bad against lefties. Stay far away from the Dodgers bullpen. Nothing to do with them full game. For me, it's a very simple. They don't hit lefties, the Angels. Urias has been great this year for the Dodgers. A day off after a brutal series against the Cubs. I think there's a chomping at the bit element to this game. They come out firing, come out strong against Canning, who I don't think is anything to write home about. I could see them getting a few runs off of him. He's been up and down. Dodgers first 5, lay and a half run for me. Connor, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's got to be the Dodgers here. And if you like the Angels, they just don't hit lefties. I'm not going to be on them. First 5. Both these teams, the bullpens have been horrible. Down the line, the Dodgers that do have a better bullpen, they've just been bad lately. But still, their bullpen's in a hot mess too. So Dodgers first 5, a half a run for me as well. I'm leaning towards it. I'm worried the Dodgers might come out and score 5 or 6. I like this first 5 under 4.5 a bit. The Angels don't hit lefties. Urias has been really good, 4-0. And yeah, I mean, the Angels continue to not hit lefties time and time again. They're just in a funk. So I'm leaning the first 5 under 4.5, a little bit at minus 120 here, but I'm on the Dodgers first 5, a half run as well.
Yeah, that's good. And by the way, bet the live over after the 5th inning or 6th inning. When you see these two teams going into their pens, you just bet it over right then and there. Just do it. Why not? They're two shitty bullpens right now. They've given you no evidence of being able to consistently get hitters out late in games. You got to do that. Yep. I think that's a good live betting strategy in this series. When you see the bullpens, bet it over.
I agree. And then you see, it goes to extras. There just runs every, like the Dodgers with the Cubs. Yep. Just, you got that guy on second. You're at least, if you don't get one, it's just over. You're done. You got to get at least that one run.
Yeah, 100% right. Tampa Bay, Oakland now. We've got the A's minus 130. Home favorites here, 7.5 the total. Shaded to the under in this one. I'm on Oakland here, first 5 in full game. Against the Rays. I like this spot for them. They didn't have a good finish to the series. But again, this is another team. You never would have thought this about Oakland, but their bullpen has got problems right now. This Lou Trevino guy for Oakland's, he's getting to Mike Mayer's territory for them right now. Not being able to get out late in games for Oakland. But no, their bullpen is much shakier. You can't even trust Diekman as much. You can't trust Wendelken quite as much as the way he's pitched in the past. That bullpen's been a little leaky, a little spotty, a little shoddy so far this season for the Oakland Athletics. So that bothers me, but I like this situation for them after the 2 losses in a row against the Blue Jays. They've got Manaea on the mound. I think this is a situation where he can pitch better in this one against the Rays. I mean, David's already alluded to it. The Rays struggle. They strike out a lot. They're not as good against lefties. And on the flip side, we have Rich Hill here for the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll see if he keeps it. He was better his last start, but I think this time around he's going to struggle here in this one. Last 4 starts for the Rays, 4 home runs allowed in each of those 4 starts, 8.82 ERA. I think that's just advantage Oakland all the way around. But again, I'm going to split this one up. I don't want everything on the full game with Oakland's bullpen showing a little vulnerability lately. So a first 5 full game split on the money line here for me with the Oakland Athletics. Connor, what do you think? Rays A's?
This is a little bit of a difficult one. I love the Rays in that series against the Angels. And I kind of like them just a tad bit here. The weird thing is, it's not been huge, all 6, 7 at bats. Is Rich Hill's pitched great. But the A's love lefties. They've hit them solid all year. I think they're top 5 in the league on hitting lefties. I'd have to double check that, but they're up there. So it's kind of colliding. Rich Hill's pitched really good. The A's are probably due to hit him. I'm leaning towards the first 5 under here. I think I got a 4.5. Hold on. No, it's just 4. I don't know. I might play that. Difficult one here for me. I'm probably just going to pass. I like how the Rays have been playing. A's have bounced 2 in a row. Probably a good spot for them to maybe get the win, take the half run first 5. I'm probably going to stay off.
He's got to show me he can pitch well on the road. Hill has been okay at the Trop.
That's true.
In Tampa Bay.
Yes.
He's given up 8 runs, 9 hits, and 6 innings on the road and 2 road starts. So he's been absolutely
could
brutal
be a bad spot.
and smacked around here on the road. So I do think Oakland early in the game, and that's why I like first 5 full game split because, again, the A's bullpen's been teetering just a little bit the last few games. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I like Oakland first 5 full game. Again, on the road, been very, very much a different Rich Hill this season. San Diego, San Francisco, Blake Snell, DeSclafani, your pitching matchup here in this one. We've got the Padres minus 140 road favorites, 7.5 the total here in this game. Blake Snell, Blake Snell's had a couple starts where he's been not dominant, not lights out, and he's had to, just basically just grind his way through these games at times. Moderately effective. That's what one of the scribes wrote about Blake Snell so far this season. That's about right. Moderately effective. He's been good. He's been solid, but he's not been, dominant or lights out. 3.51 ERA for him in 25 innings this year. Look, DeSclafani had a really rough start 2 times ago. 7.2 ERA last season, but he bounced back strong in his last start. 6 innings, 3 runs, pretty solid in that game against the Padres. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop here on him, the other shoe to drop, and him to revert back to the old DeSclafani, but haven't seen that so far this season from him. We'll have to wait and see. Second time, David Sharp's got a point there about the second time around now for a very good San Diego lineup against DeSclafani. Can he deceive them again like he did that first time? That remains to be seen. I'm probably off this game because it's just difficult when Snell's on the mound to find value. Pass for me. Not a strong opinion. I mean, I don't want to be one game too early with I think there's going to be spots for regression for DeSclafani and a time to fade him. I don't know if tonight's the night, but I am waiting for that DeSclafani regression train to arrive at the station. I think it's going to happen. He's not going to have a 2 ERA for the rest of the season. That I can tell you. Conor, what do you think? San Diego, San Francisco.
Yeah, you might see it pretty soon. If I were to go here, I know this is the second time they just saw him, but I wouldn't bet an over. I wouldn't be running to the window. I know that sometimes the second time you see these guys, especially within a week, they could get touched a little bit. I'm just going to stay off that all here. If I were to be on something, I'd kind of lean the Giants a little bit. Maybe they can get a couple off Snell. Giants plus 130 first 5. I think it's a little bit of value. The Padres, this big a number on the road, I just don't love laying it. I don't think they're that elite. I think they're a pretty good ball club right now. And they haven't gone on a crazy run yet, which I'm sure they will. I think they're too good. But give me a little value here with the Giants, first 5 plus 130.
Yeah, and another one of those teams, San Francisco, like a Kansas City and a Dodgers and an Angels and all these teams. Bad bullpen. If you like them, you got to stay on the first 5, not the full game with a team like the Giants. All right, great breakdown, Conor, on the card. We've gotten through every Friday game. We'll get to best bets in just a second. Before we do that, we'll pause as we always do at this time of the show to get a 30-second message from our great sponsors, Manscaped. There we go, Manscaped, promo code PubSports. Check them out, mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. Great time of year to use mybookie.ag with NHL, NBA, and Major League Baseball on a daily basis. Bitcoin accepted currency at mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. Best bet time for this Friday card. Lots to choose from. Pretty decent slate tonight, Connor. What do you like for best bet?
Yeah, I got a ton. I'll give you just a quick one because I'm going to play this game. Reds first 5. It won't be my best bet, but I think there's tons of value there, plus 130. But I'm going with the Yankees. I'm taking a run line here. I hope they get to Corbin. It might be a letdown spot, but I don't give a shit. Give me the Yankees run line. I need to win.
I'm going to give
Plus
you
110.
two best bets. I'm going to give you two best bets, and they're going to be player props. I haven't done this very often, but this is about as good as I felt about player props in a long time. And you know where I'm going? I'm going Washington, New York Yankees. I'm going with Giancarlo Stanton, the artist formerly known as Mike Stanton, for the New York Yankees. Over 1.5 total bases, minus 110. And that same bet for DJ LeMahieu of the Yankees, over 1.5 total bases, plus 110. So it's minus 110 on Stanton, over 1.5. It's plus 110 over 1.5 total bases on LeMahieu. They have just absolutely crushed Patrick Corbin, these two guys. And of course, in the case of Stanton, not only does he have the past history of success against Corbin, he's on fire right now. His current form at the plate is just blazing at the moment. So these are two prop bets I like. I think we got a good chance at a 2-0 sweep with them. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. You know, I think I've lost the last two, so I wanted to change it up. Let's go player props here. DJ LeMahieu and Giancarlo Stanton, over 1.5 total bases tonight against Patrick Corbin and the Washington Nationals. Player prop best bets for me on the show. I see our man Noli Knows in the chat. Looking forward to getting him on the show. It looks like maybe this weekend he might be joining us. So looking forward to that, Noli, if you're able to join us. But that is it. That will end this edition of the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time show for Friday, May 7th. Conor and I are back with Ski Profit in just a couple hours. NBA Closing Time show at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you join us for that. As the NBA, we continue to count down to the start of the playoffs. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And I guess when we will see you in a couple hours for the NBA Closing Time show right here on Pub Sports Radio.